Hi everybody, so I'm just going to point out that I might look slightly different now than I do when you watch the rest of this video. I have filmed my intro 3 times. This is 3rd time lucky. The first time I was out of focus for 99% of the video, the intro, so I had to refilm it. Then the second time I'd filmed it, it looked really good, and I, for some reason, got distracted, because I always get distracted, and I misplaced my memory card, and I spent the whole day running around trying to find my memory card for this intro, and I can't find it. So I'm using this really tiny weeny little memory card to film my intro on, and I'm going to have to buy a new one, and I'm really angry because it had my thumbnail and my intro on for this video. So this is probably why I look slightly different and a little bit worn out, because this is kind of last minute intro. So having that said, I'm going to get into the intro of the video. So today I am doing a basic everyday makeup tutorial. This is really good for people who maybe don't like wearing a lot of makeup, or I do know it's back to school season and I know some schools don't allow people to wear a lot of makeup, so I thought I would kind of mess about with my makeup and try and create a really simple look, which looks really good but is so basic that you can't tell you're wearing a lot of makeup, and it's really easy to edit and to change. So if you want to add eyeshadow, if you want to change using the BB to a foundation, you can, and it's so simple. And also everything at -2 products is drugstore as well, so I will link everything I've used in the description below. But I do know that it can be really annoying when you're kind of new to makeup and all the makeup tutorials you're using are using really high-end makeup. So I tried to kind of use all drugstore products, but I only use 2 of non-drugstore products, and they're so simple to change as well. It's really good. So I'm just gonna get straight on into the video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching and enjoy. So the first thing which I'm just going to do is apply a primer, and the primer which I'm using is the Rimmel Stay Matte primer. I absolutely love this primer for makeup looks where you don't want to make it look like you're wearing a lot of makeup. It just helps keep my T-zone and my face looking less oily, and it helps lock in that makeup and that moisture, which you might lose if you do apply a foundation which is a bit drying. And I absolutely love this primer. It was one of my very first primers that I used, and I love it so much. Then once I've done that, I'm going to take my Rimmel 9-in-1 BB cream. This is in the shade medium. It is slightly dark for me, and it's not really a colour that I usually would go for, but it's perfect for them looks where you don't want to make it look too obvious, and it's really good for when I've applied my fake tan as well. It just matches my skin tone perfect. I'm taking my Real Technique stippling brush and applying this all over my face using the stippling brush. I absolutely adore the Real Technique brushes. They are fantastic, and I use them throughout the whole of this video applying my makeup. They are just so good. They make my skin looking flawless, and I absolutely love them. Then once I've done that, I'm going to take some concealer. Now you don't have to conceal if you don't want to. I just like to conceal because it kind of gives that extra coverage which you might not always get from a BB cream or a foundation, and I'm using the Rimmel Wake Me Up concealer in the shade Ivory. I absolutely love the foundation, and the concealer is just as good. I'm applying this under my eyes using the wand, and then I'm going to dab it with my finger. I would usually use a brush, but I completely forgot the brush when I was filming the video, and after I realised I'd left my concealer brush out. But I'm applying it under my eyes just to hide out the dark circles, because I've had a lot of late nights watching Les Mis and singing along, which although is pretty good, is not good for the under eye, and this just kind of helps bring out my eye. And the concealer is slightly lighter as well, so it kind of highlights them as well, which is what you want for these kind of look, just to highlight your face. And now I'm taking the MAC Studio Fix powder in NC25, and I'm going to set my base using this. I do know that this is quite an expensive powder, and you don't have to use a powder to set it if you don't want, or there are loads and loads of drugstore alternatives that you can use. I just like to set it with this just to kind of make it set in stone, and I absolutely love this powder as it is. It's brilliant. And once I've done that, I'm going to apply a blush. Now the blush which I'm using is the MAC I'm a Lover. Again, I do know it's not drugstore. These are the only 2 non-drugstore products in this video, and I love this blush so much. I did mention this in my MAC haul. It is so nice. It is a blue undertone pink, but it's perfect because you can use it on your cheekbones and it can define your face, but it doesn't look too false and too Barbie pink. And I'm just using my blush brush, and I'm literally just brushing it up my cheek, so it doesn't leave a particular place. It's just brushed up nicely, and it looks so nice. And then once I've done this, it's got to be them brows. I cannot go anywhere without doing them brows, and I'm actually using the Collection The Works eyebrow palette, and I'm using the lighter shade, which you can probably tell is the only shade I've actually only ever used in this palette because it has the biggest dent out of them both. And I love this palette, especially for this kind of look, because it just helps define your brow, but it doesn't take too long. You can just literally stroke it over your brow and you're done. And I just love this palette so much. I rave about this in a lot of my videos as well. This one though, annoyingly, I picked up the wrong colour again. I picked it up in a medium and I should have picked it up in a light. So the colour isn't a colour that I usually would use. I would probably use a little bit lighter, but I like it anyway. It creates a really nice define on the brow. Then once I've done this, I'm just going to apply some mascara, and I'm using my Holy Grail mascara, which I've used for millions and millions of years. It's the Benefit They're Real mascara. It is a little bit pricey, but it is honestly one of the best mascaras I have ever used. I did recently purchase the Bonjourous one, and it is kind of like a really good dupe for it, so if you don't want to splash out on this mascara, the Bonjourous one is so good, and it does do the same thing, but I'm staying with my trusty Benefit mascara. This is my Holy Grail mascara. I can't begin to explain to you how much I love this mascara. And then once you've done that, that is this really simple makeup look over and done with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. See you later!